Silver tone gliding across Rain Street glass. Neon letters blur into liquid shapes. Late notice linger beneath station lights. Train tracks hum beneath concrete ribs. Copper glow resting on bar top wood. Bottle shadows stretch across polished grain. Low conversations hover without direction. Cigarette smoke curls near ceiling fans. Deep burn resting quietly beneath ribs. Memories turning without sharp edges. Unspoken thoughts weighing behind steady eyes. Breath measured through restrained delivery. Old receipts folded inside jacket pockets. Ink smudges fading along their creases. Taxi tires roll through shallow puddles. Billboards flicker above empty sidewalks. Silver tone echoes from distant speakers. Warm chords travel through narrow rooms. Dust particles drifting low beams. Glassware vibrates with subtle resonance. Copper glow pulses from traffic signals. Red reflections stain the asphalt lanes. Engines idle in patient formation. Drivers stare beyond windshield glare. Deep burn steady under calm posture. Hands resting firm against wooden tables. Shoulders square without outward tension. Heartbeat aligned with muted percussion. Hook settles slowly in the pocketed rhythm. No exaggerated rise or drop. Cadence anchored inside narrow groove. Lines landed firm but understated. Warehouse windows frame the harbor light. Shipping cranes move with silent patience. Salt air drifts across loading docks. Ropes tighten against steel hooks. Nights settle across rooftops and vents. Cooling tar exhale stored heat. Satellite dishes angle toward open sky. Laundry lines sway without witness. Silver tone returns through distant echoes. Copper glow lingers in the haze. Deep burn quiet but enduring. Hook settle carries the final phrase. Nights settle closing every open space. Street lights dim without ceremony. Footsteps fade along empty avenue. Silence stretches beyond the block. Dodger page rests beneath lamp glow. Margins filled with half-formed thoughts. Ink bleeds through faint line. Paper hand hovers above words unsaid. Library stamp imprints on yellow sheet. Date and place captured in quiet motion. Rows of shelves stretched towards ceiling. Dust drifts along forgotten corners. Checkout card folded inside notebook. Names written in careful script. Past readers' fingers press along edges. Stories trace silent patterns in memory. Overdue slip flutters between books. Late penalties linger unnoticed. Hands reach across wooden table. Breath matches the clock's slow tick. Archive rooms hum with muted voices. Shelves stacked in careful rows. Catalog cards slide in wooden drawers. Fingers trace embossed letters gently. Dodged page bends beneath weight. Annotations crowd faded margins. Thoughts once sharp now soft. Text whispers through quiet memory. Library stamp echoes in mind. Echoes of voices long gone. Footsteps tap on polished floor. Soft echoes fade along the aisle. Checkout card waits beside bag. Library hums low in evening light. Pages shift as wind blows. Curtains sway without ceremony. Overdue slip sticks to cover. pen scratches new notes beneath. Shadows lengthen across oak desks. Air hums in pattern rhythm. Archive holds secrets in boxes. Time stored in labeled lids. Metal class click under careful hands. Past preserved without interruption. Dogged page carries silent story. Library stamp marks it officially. Checkout card returns with care. Overdue slip fades unnoticed. Archive breathes through narrow halls. Readers pass without recognition. Stories live quietly in stillness. Night settles over the building. Dun, dun, dun.
Underpass air, concrete pillars rising bare. Traffic murmurs overhead in waves. Spray paint flickers where a shadow caves. Grounded mind walking river stone. Current brushing undertone. Steel bridge humming distant lines. Clouded skyline without sign. Steam dissolving slow beneath. Streetlight halos stretch and bend. Footprints wander without end. Subtle joy in a passing train. Windows flicker against the rain. Platform benches cold and white. Timetables curled at the side. Silent strength in folded hands. Late bus breaking in scattered strands. Ticket stubs beneath the seat. Oil-stained pavement under feet. Parking garage and spiral rise. Headlights circle in concrete skies. Loose gravel shifts in hollow turns. Sodium vapor faintly burns. Warehouse shutters chained and still. Wind moves paper near the hill. Distant radio through cracked glass. Faded posters as hours pass. Overhead wires in layered thread. Laundry lines where colors bled. Rust flakes scatter near the gate. Numbered doors in patient wait. Side street diner closing down. Aprons hanging backroom brown. Coffee rings on metal trays. Receipt ink blurred in purple haze. Subway corridor tiled in gray. Escalators hum halfway. Lost coins spinning near the wall. Last train warning call. Rooftop gravel under boots. Chimney smoke and silent roots. Billboard frame against the sky. Paper edges lifting high. Vibe low through grounded mind. Quiet lungs where echoes wind. Subtle joy with silent strength. Night extends its patient length.
Amber haze, amber haze, amber haze hanging over rooftop lines. Street grids bending in fractured sun.
Distant traffic breathing low and wide. Window reflection shifting with the tide. Urban steel rising through concrete air. Cold beam shadows everywhere. Freight elevators humming tone. Metal ribs beneath the stone. Slow burn moving under chest. Patience leaning into rest. Breath measured through the phrase. Night unfolding in layers and haze. Loose paper slide across the desk. Ink trails forming something oblique. You there laps against brick walls. Soft footsteps in narrow halls. Bars settle heavy in the groove. Nothing rushed, nothing to prove. Snare dust resting on the rim. Baseline pressed but never grim. Corner store lights flicker thin. Receipt rolls slowly spin. Glass door closes without sound. Subtle echoes gather round. Taxi meter glowing red. Billboard wires overhead. Steam escapes the subway grate. City breather never late. Warehouse windows crack the tar. Shadows stretch along the wall. Steel staircases hum away. Keys turn slow at the gate. Rooftop gravel under hill. Cooling tar beneath the steel. Night wind brushing jacket seams. Loose threads drifting through the beams. Amber haze returns again. Across the overpassing train. Urban steel against the sky. Silent sparks that never fly. Slow burn resting in the chest. Measured cadence doing less. Bars settle deep in the flow. Lines land heavy, never show. Ocho smooth without a break. No sharp cut, no sudden wait. Urban steel and amber air. Night stand steady there. Frosted glass clouds the morning view. Steam drifts from coffee cup nearby. Windows hum with faint city noises. Street light glimmers through icy patterns. Cracked leather bends beneath careful hands. Chair absorbs weight over worn cushion. Edges fray along repeated folds. Hands move slowly, tracing textures. Hoodie pocket hides small folded notes. Fingers slip in search of comfort. Keys rattle quietly within soft fabric. Breath aligns with measured thought. Coat collar folds against chilly neck. Wind brushes through narrow alleyway. Shadows stretch along dampened sidewalks. Footsteps echo in subtle rhythms. Zipper pull slides beneath warm fingers. Metal clicks against smooth surface. Jacket folds gather softly over arms. Air vibrates with faint anticipation. Frosted glass fogs beneath warm breath. Eyes trace lines in condensation. Light bends over textured surface. Morning hums softly beneath fluted sky. La da 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 da. Cracked leather carries silent memory. Scars mark long-held motion. Soft creases map repeated gestures. Hands linger across familiar contours. Hoodie pocket holds quiet secrets. Small objects nestled in fabric. Fingers brush the concealed edges. Even in thoughts drift along shadows. Coat collar warms against night wind. Fabric folds absorb subtle motion. Your collar rises beneath silent movement. Air hums low against soft threads. Zipper pull clicks in careful rhythm. Fingers pause above metal slider. Jacket folds over arm with care. Feet tap lightly against wood floor. Frosted glass clears and subtle light shapes emerge from blurred outlines. Street hums beneath faint amber glow. Windows catch reflections in quiet pattern. Cracked leather, hoodie pocket, coat collar, zipper pull ties each detail together. Hands move slow across textures. Night dissolves into measured calm. La da 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 da. Yeah. Da 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 da. Yeah. Yeah. Da da.
Calm presence walking riverside stone. Ripples scatter in undertone. Street lamps bow toward the tide. Fog rolls low and wide. Slow heartbeat underlay knit. Pier boards creak where gulls once sit. Harbor cranes in frozen stands. Water mirrors sodium glands. Soft memory rising with harbor mist. Old rope fibers in tighten twist. Anchor chains drag in the deep. Warehouses settle into sleep. Distant feeling across the bay. Buoy lights blink then drift away. Cold salt gathers on the rail. Moon cuts through a silver veil. Steady confidence without display. Footprints fade in tidal clay. Cargo nets sway overhead. You with footsteps softly tread. Freight elevator hums in steel. Dockside engines idle reel. Paper manifest loosely tied. Night crew smoke at waterside. Ferry horn bends through the dark. Echo rests against the park. Benchwood damp from evening rain. Oil slick color stain. Signal tower blinking slow. Waves collapsing undertow. Harbor office windows dim. Coffee cooling at the rim. Chain link fence with salted rust. Wind lifts grit and harbor dust. Footbridge bolts in quiet strain. Low tide dragging chain. Lighthouse beam rotates in sweep. Fishing boats rock half asleep. Sea glass scattered near the pier. Engine sputter disappears. Dock numbers fading on the wall. Rusted hooks in shadowed hall. Crates stack high in wooden rows. Canvas tarps and folded throws. Calm presence and slow heartbeat flow. Soft memory where tides go. Distant feelings, steady confidence. Night dissolves in reverence.
Cool patience, walking city blocks. Storefront grates and heavy locks. Side streets rinsed by midnight rain. Neon buzzing in the drain. Deep patience under traffic glow. Engines idle, soft and low. Crosswalk timers counting red. Billboard shadows overhead. Crosswords written on a page. in quiet rage. Paper wrinkled at the fold, staples biting through the hole. Internal rhyme inside the thought, ideas tangled, tightly caught. Lamp beside the narrow bed, light pool gold instead. Tight scheme, shaping every line, breath measured into time. Pen pressed hard against the grain, ink resistant strain. Apartment window slightly wide, curtain moving side to side. Sirens fading down the street, radiator ticking heat. Fire escaping metal thread, pigeons shifting overhead. Brickwork worn by years of smoke, rust along the spoke. Kitchen table scarred by use, coffee cooled and turning loose. Notebooks stacked in leaning pile, clock hands circle mile by mile. Late night grocer counting change, plastic bags in narrow range. Fluorescent glare on tiled floor, security cam above the door. Train yard clatter far away, coupling chains in muted sway. Signal tower blinking white, freight horn cutting through the night. Alley puddles mirror signs, loose wires hanging from the lines. Cardboard flattened by the wall, wind lifts scraps then lets them fall. Cool patience with deep patience tone, crosswords carved in stone. Internal rhyme in tight scheme flow, silent steady, low and slow, slow, slow.
Attic dust drifting through narrow beams, cardboard boxes stacked beside old trunks. Faded photographs curl at the edges, thin light slips through cracked shingles. Corridor hum floating beyond closed doors, fluorescent lights flicker without warning. Footsteps soften across worn carpet, distant radios murmuring fragments. Pillow den pressed into restless fabric, blankets folded at uneven angles. Breast steady against cooling air, curtains shift with rooftop wind. Silver spoon resting beside ceramic plates, coffee stains circle wooden tables. Late dishes stagnant quiet sinks, clock ticks echo through tile walls. Floorboard creak beneath careful movement, on shadows stretch across peeling paint. Door handles turn with subtle clicks, keys hang silent on wall hooks. Dust settles on forgotten vinyl, old speakers lean against insulation. Wires cold beside tape boxes, memory lingers in quiet layers. Corridor hum deepens past midnight, apartment numbers blur in dim light. Mail slots tremble from soft drafts, security lights pulse near elevators. Pillow den remains where thoughts once turned, sheets gather near mattress edges. Radiator pipes knock in sequence, low murmurs drift through vents. Silver spoon taps inside thick glass, sugar dissolves beneath slow stirring. Steam rises from dark liquid, hands warm against chipped porcelain. Floorboard creep marks the pace and rhythm, breathe the lines with steady tempo. No rush disturbs the cadence, silence frames each the distance. Pillow dent fades beneath smooth fabric. Silver spoon cools beside the sink. Floorboard creak quiets into stillness. Windows catch the early gray. Measured breath completes the phrase. Night releases its hold gently. Paper napkin folded beside cooling cup. Ink marks bleed through thin layers. Fingerprints stain the corner lightly. Table edges chipped from years. Office hum fills the open floor. Air vents breathe recycled air. Cubicle walls stand in rows. Screens dim under fading shit. Desk lamp casts a narrow cone. Yellow light isolates the page. Margins crowded with half-thought shadows. Lean against partition. Swivel chair turns with quiet resistance. Wheels glide across carpet lines. Backrest creaks beneath slow movement. Posture shifts but stays restrained. Keyboard tap echoes in empty rooms. Single strokes mark passing seconds. Email drafts sit half composed. Cursor waits without impatience. Paper napkin gathers stray crumbs. Coffee stains darken its edge. Trash bin half full of printouts. Staples gleam under low light. Office hum continues past midnight. Cleaning crews roll cars softly. Vacuum lines trace patterned floors. Glass doors reflect hollow halls. Desk warms a corner space. Screensaver images drift slowly. Clock digits change without sound. Brother lines with subtle rhythm. Swivel chair spins once then stops. Hands fold across worn denim. Shoulders ease beneath quiet weight. Thoughts stretch across long hours. Keyboard tap resumes in short bursts. Sentences tighten into structure. Backspace clears uncertain phrases. Final draft locks into place. Keyboard tap resumes in short bursts. Sentences tighten into structure. Backspace clears uncertain phrases. Final draft locks into place. Paper napkin crumples in closed fist. Office hum thin, store silence. Desk lamp flicks off without drama. Swivel chair rests against desk. Keyboard tab ceases completely. Monitor fades in a black screen. Elevator doors close downstairs. Night seals the building.
Saucer ring, fading on wooden table surface. Circular stain, holding yesterday's coffee. Window light spills across chip varnish. Dust floats through pale morning air. Sugar grains scatter beside empty cup. Crystals catch the early sunlight. Small sweetness left behind casually. Ants trace invisible patient routes. Honey drip slides along silver spoon. Golden thread stretching without hurry. Sticky trails mark ceramic edges. Fingertips glossed in amber sheen. Bread crust resting near folded napkin. Knife scratches etched in cutting board. Toaster coils cooling in silence. Crumbs settle into narrow seams. Butter smears soft across warm surface. Heat dissolves its fragile edges. Steam rises from cracked porcelain. Clock ticks above tile backsplash. Saucer ring remains without comment. Morning carries no sudden urgency. Street noise hums beyond thin glass. Delivery trucks idle near curb. Sugar grain melts inside bitter blend. Stirring motion slows then stops. Spoon taps echo against rim. Breath steadies before first sip. Honey drip thickens on plate edge. Sunlight strengthens through the window. Shadows shorten across kitchen floor. Chair legs scrape with muted friction. Bread crust breaks beneath steady bite. Crumbs scatter over folded paper. Salt and warmth linger briefly. Swallow moves with quiet rhythm. Butter smear fades into toasted grain. Plate cools beneath quiet hands. Coffee level drops in stages. Steam thins toward nothing. Saucer ring dries into pale outline. Sugar grain dissolves into memory. Honey drip hardens into shine. Bread crust remains alone. Butter smear barely visible now. Morning settles into routine motion. Dishes stack without ceremony. Day begins without applause. Lobby clock ticks above marble floors. Secondhand cutting clean circles. Night guard leans against reception desk. Glass doors reflect empty streets. Fluorescent flicker hums overhead. Light trembles across tiled walls. Mail slots rattle from cold drafts. Security cameras pan slowly. Elevator cable strains behind steel doors. Motors hum between narrow shafts. Buttons glow in tired rows. Mirrors multiply dim figures. Silent phone rests inside coat pocket. No vibration breaks the calm. Notification lights remain dark. Air feels thick and unmoved. Missed call waiting in call log. Name displayed without reply. Finger hovers over read dial. Breath pauses before decision. Lobby clock continues measured pace. Footsteps echo through corridors. Hallway carpet absorbs sound. Door hinges sigh in sequence. Fluorescent flicker casts pale shadows. Vending machines hum beside stairs. Coins drop with hollow ring. Tasty cups stack unevenly. Elevator cable pulls toward higher floors. Numbers change above door frame. Metal panels reflect ceiling stains. Air smells faintly of polish. Silent phone remains face down. Text previews hidden from sight. Hands stay buried in pockets. Eyes focus on distant exit. Missed call becomes steady thought. Unspoken words crowd the chest. City noise drifts through glass.
shift without audience. Lobby clock edges toward dawn. Fluorescent flicker softens in gray light. Elevator cable slows to rest. Silent phone still holds quiet. Missed call lingers in memory. Doors slide closed without sound. Breath steadies in open air. Morning replaces the night. Charger coil twists across the desk edge. Cable hums, bendy plastic insulation. Phone rests quietly without vibration. Evening light drifts across window pane. Battery low flashes a gentle warning. Screen dims to prevent sudden shutdown. Notification, wait patiently in queue. Silent icons hover without motion. Power save kicks in automatic mode. Brightness reduces, processes hold steady. Applications freeze in subtle delay. Air hums through quiet room. Low battery holds tense anticipation. Thoughts drift slowly across half-formed plans. Curtains sway with faint breeze. Coffee steams beside idle notebook. Night mode eases harsh white glow. Walls absorb soft inner reflections. Keyboard hums faint beneath fingertips. Fingers tap slowly across letters. Charger coil remains loosely coiled. Metal pins reflect overhead light. Hands hover above plastic connector. Breath aligns with gentle rhythm. Battery low lingers as clock ticks. Screen flickers without full alert. Desk lamp warms wood surface. Shadows stretch across quiet floor. Power save mode conserves hidden energy. CPU cycle slow and measure wave. Background apps retreat into soft silence. Monitor glow becomes pale reflection. Low battery bleeds through subtle icon. Message previews fade into gray. Tabs remain open but inactive. Cursor drifts across half-finished documents. Night mode blends with room shadows. Screens fade into subdued hues. It feels dense with calm. Feet tap slowly, long carpet. Charger coil hums under faint voltage. Battery low flashes last alert. Power save holds final command. Low battery whispers quiet warning. Night mode persists in gentle dark. Hands rest, fingers still above beats. Boom exhale slowly, tension little. Morning waits beyond curtain windows.
Read receipt lingers without confirmation. Message sent but never acknowledged. Screen glows softly against dark wall. Fingers hover hesitant to tap. Archive chat holds forgotten phrases. Old jokes trapped in digital memory. Names faded across history logs. Emojis blink like faint echoes. Faded contact waits silently in lists. Numbers blur into soft gray lines. Conversations slow into gentle drift. Notifications ignored, intention lost. Block signal cuts off sudden thoughts. Messages vanish mid-sentence. Air hums quietly around empty rooms. Streetlight reflections fill window pane. Weak signal stretches over empty city. Bars climb and fall unpredictably. Late night hum of distant traffic. Low voices seep from cracked doors. Red receipt marks another pause. Cursor blinks in patient rhythm. Typing hesitates above half words. Silence thickens into thought. Archive chat stacks across the app. Folders hide conversations from view. Names remembered only in fragments. Images linger without acknowledgement. Faded contact softens in muted tone. Memory bends along digital edges. Words repeat in loops internally. Breeze slows as tension thins. Block signal hums with quiet static. No connection reaches intended end. Hands rest over screen surface. Screen glow dims in reflection. Weak signal persists between towers. Air vibrates with lost energy. Messages float in invisible currents. Thoughts drift without anchor. Red receipt fades into dark theme. Archive chat closes without notice. Faded contact remains unresolved. Block signal never returns. Weak signal dissolves into late night. Finger taps finally rest. Breeze steadies in a calm rhythm. Morning waits beyond window pane.
Denim fade stretches along chair edge. Sunlight catches faint indigo traces. Wrinkles trace forgotten movements. Fabric hums beneath idle fingers. Cotton fold gathers beside notebook. Pages press against soft material. Fingers trace soft hidden seams. Breath steadies over quiet rhythm. Wool coat hangs across one hook. Shoulders bend beneath weightless air. Collar lifts against faint breeze. Shadow stretches across floorboards. Loose thread drifts along hemline. Caught beneath movement of fabric. Edges tangle gently beneath hands. Air vibrates in subtle waves. Analog dial ticks beneath soft casing. Seconds bend along quiet passage. Time flows across brass surface. Hands hover over etched numbers. Denim fade softens under repeated touch. Light bends along textured patterns. Fingers press against one area's memory folds into tactile space. Cotton fold carries warmth from morning. Sunlight bends across linen threads. Breath mixes with fading aroma. Room hums beneath soft illumination. Wool coat absorbs gentle ambient noise. Fabric stretches over chair back. Weight settles across thick texture. Air vibrates quietly beneath low hum. Loose thread curls around fingertips. Subtle twist mark quiet patience. Edges bend with repeated rhythm. Hands linger without abrupt motion. Analog dial moves without sudden shift. Seconds glide across measured face. Brass reflects pale evening light. Air vibrates along tactile lines. Denim fade, cotton fold, wool coat, loose thread, analog log, dyed rhythm. Fingers trace patterns with soft care. Night hums beneath quiet room.
coast under silver moon, harbor ropes and lazy tune, wooden pier with salted grain, footprints fading after rain, still water holding mirrored light, boats anchored through the night, buoy bells in distant chime, clock hands moving without time, dark sand cool beneath the shoe, shell fragments scattered through, driftwood leaning near the dune, clouds dissolve too soon, thin fog rolling off the bay, lighthouse beam in muted sway, fishing nets in careful fold, stories never told, scribbled rhyme inside a book, margins bent at every look, pen tips scratching soft and low, ink trails where thoughts go, boardwalk planks in weathered line, soda cans in twisted twine, closed arcade with darkened glass, posters peeling as hours pass. Glass glinting near the shore, rusting hinges on a door, old motel with flickered sign, curtains drawn across the line, harbor office light burns thin, ledger books stacked within, coffee cooling on the desk, paper clips in metal nest, rock jetty under quiet stars, distant engines from passing cars, wind tracing tidal foam, night air close to home, boat yard cranes in silent rest, paint chips falling from the crest, chain links clink against the mast, echoes from the past, parking lot beside the pier, license plates in muted tier, radio static in a van, map unfolded by a hand, quiet coast with still water span, dark sand where it began, thin fog drifting over time, waves repeat a scribbled rhyme. Fridge buzz hums beneath them kitchen lights. Doors open slowly, cold air drifts. Shelves creak under weight of glass bottles. Steam rises from cup of warm tea. Tiled floor glimmers under faint illumination. Footsteps echo softly across patterns. Air shifts quietly in the evening. Shadows stretch across muted crowd lines. Radiator heat spreads across worn tiles. Hands hover near glowing metal pipes. Temperature balances beneath soft ceiling. Evening hums along patterned walls. Pipe knock sounds in gentle rhythm.
Water shifts beneath cold surface. Metal bends slightly under pressure. Air vibrates with subtle, quiet motion. Ceiling stain traces long forgotten leaks. Watermarks curl along faded plaster. Light bends across uneven edges. Shadows linger beneath muted beams. Fridge buzz hums in steady cadence. Shelves sway lightly beneath gentle touch. Doors click softly when open. Cool air meets warmth of tea. Tile floor absorbs movement gently. Fingers tap across smooth hard surface. Footsteps move without sudden pressure. Shadows bend beneath ambient glow. Radiator heat warms frozen fingers. Metal hums in measured rhythm. Air drifts across quiet kitchen. Steam mingles with faint scent of bread. Pipe knock resonates in empty corridor. Echoes travel beneath floorboards. Soft vibration hums beneath furniture. Walls listen quietly to evening. Ceiling stain catches soft yellow light. Corners hide shadowed outlines. Air shivers faint along upper beams. Footsteps pause without notice. Fridge buzz, tile floor, radiator heat. Pipe knock, ceiling stain mark rhythm.
Ceramic cup rests beside faded newspapers. Steam curls in the quiet morning air. Fingers wrap around gentle warmth. Thoughts drift slowly through empty kitchen. Kettle his hums beneath early light. Water boils with soft rhythmic patience. Air bends through half-open window. Curtains sway gently in morning breeze. Coffee steam rises along wooden counter. Faint aroma drifts towards sleepy walls. Mug trembles under careful grasp. Hands move slow across polished surface. Fridge buzz hums beneath chilled surface. Magneted notes cling to metal door. Soft hum blends with distant traffic. Shadows stretch across tiled floor. Kitchen bulb glows with pale amber. Light bends over faded countertop. Corners of room hum quietly. Footsteps tap along worn tiles. Ceramic cup cools beneath gentle sip. Steam rises in subtle currents. Fingers linger across warm surface. Thoughts fold into quiet rhythm. Kettle hiss softens as water rests. Handles reflect pale window light. Air moves with slow hesitation. Curtains fold over empty countertop. Coffee steam drifts across tiled floor. Light bends into patterned reflections. Mug hums faint against wooden surface. Hands linger without abrupt motion. Fridge buzz folds in the background noise. Soft vibrations hum through empty space. Magneted notes flutter in subtle wind. Air shifts quietly along counters. Kitchen bulb dims with fading warmth. Corners relax into shadowed calm. Footsteps pause along quiet floorboards. Room exhales beneath measured light. Ceramic cup, kettle hiss, coffee steam. Fridge buzz, kitchen bulb, time moments. Fingers trace patterns in soft motion. Morning hums in patient rhythm. an empty room. Keyboard hums beneath idle fingers. Tabs flow quietly across dark desktop. Air vibrates with soft electric hum. Grayscale tone paints the digital space. Windows drift in muted harmony. Icons rest along organized edges. Thoughts linger without abrupt movement. Tattered color drifts across subtle gradients. Edges fade into soft transitions. Screen hums with gentle rhythm. Light bends along quiet contours. Quiet palette spreads across entire surface. Shadows balance along smooth curves. Icons settle in careful arrangement. Air hums in measured cadence. Matte finish softens harsh reflections. Fingers trace lines across soft touch. Light diffuses in gentle patterns. Thoughts drift with muted clarity. Dim screen hums beneath warm lamp. Edges blur with gentle flicker. Tabs fold into subtle layers. Air vibrates along gentle rhythm. Grayscale tone holds quiet intention. Lines shift without sudden change. Light bends along pattern surface. Air moves soft across desks. The color drifts like quiet water. Shadows fold along ambient nights. Screen glows with gentle pulse. Fingers hover without abrupt motion. Quiet palette hums beneath low light. Soft reflections bend over keyboard. Edges fade into pattern calm. Thoughts drift along subtle rhythm. Matte finish absorbs gentle highlights. Fingers trace patterns in measured touch. Light bends along effective screen. Air holds subtle resonance. Does dim screen. Grayscale tone, muted color. Quiet palette. Matte finish guides rhythm. Fingers trace without abrupt motion. Night hums softly through gentle air.
Stretching over brick roads. Street lights flicker as the city slows. Taxi ties hiss on silver lanes. Steam escapes from subway drains. Pale sunrise touching warehouse glass. Shadows shorten as minutes pass. Traffic signals blink to green. Billboards fade from what they've seen. Empty sky above the rail yard still. Freight cars rest without a wheel. Graffiti walls in muted tone. Loose bolts rattle on their own. Cool breeze crossing rooftop tar. Distant hum of an early car. Antenna wires in gentle sway. Laundry lines greet the day. Notebook lines beneath dim light. Ink pressed deep into the night. Coffee ring beside the page. Radiator clicks in measured gauge. Corner cafe raising blinds. Stacked chairs in patient lines. Chalkboard menus wiped clean. Floor tiles washed with sheen. Bus depot in quiet way. Drivers leaning by the gate. Departure boards in amber glow. Tickets printed soft and slow. Bridge cables hum above the bay. Fishing boats drifting gray. Metal rail cool to the hand. Gulls circle over sand. Office tower, early shift. Elevators rise and lift. Security desk, half awake. Paper cups near the break. Newsstand stacked with morning sheets. Headlines fresh on empty streets. Coins exchange in quiet tone. Receipts crumple and are thrown. Park benches damp with dew.